Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 10 discussion. We're going to get into some bold predictions, some big news, a whole lot of thank yous. I'm a little bit under the weather tonight, but I am Red Bulled up. I am ready to go. I'm going to get through tonight. We've got a good stream for you guys for The Walking Dead, and then at 9 o'clock tonight, we got another good stream, which is going to be our Play Dead Live. But before we get too far into this, this is bold predictions. Look, there's a little bit of spoiler information that's out there. I'm going to ask you guys, do not post spoilers. We're going to give our best guesses as far as what we think is going to happen without tying the spoilers in. Tomorrow we'll officially do a spoiler stream. But let me shout out my entire Patreon army. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Also, a couple special shout outs before we get into tonight's stream. I want to give a shout out to Pete D. Pete D is our longest tenured Green Team member. Pete D has been 23 months as a Green Team member, so I want to shout out Pete D. We also got Jason Mixologist Daily, 22 months, and then our very own Valar. So each of those three have almost been in the Green Team for 2 years. So thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Of course, I did mention the Patreons, the mods, the PDL sponsors. But here's the big news, everybody. This is something that I hope you guys will appreciate. The Play Dead Live sponsorship. We're sending out our first Play Dead Live survival packs coming out the end of March. Those are for anyone that was a sponsor as of December 15th. You guys remember we had the cutoff, and then we said the first 30 people we're going to do it that way. So we opened back up sponsorship, so those are going out next month. But anyone on record as of March 15th, we're going to cut it off again in the next 3 weeks. So once March 15th hits, then we've cut off everybody for June. This is for the June PDL sponsors. And one of the cool things in there that I've been working on and some people sort of inspired me is going to be the official Play Dead Live comic strip. And you guys can see me up over in the left-hand corner. It's going to be a very unique type of comic where it is going to be including the game, but it's going to be told from my perspective, from being behind the microphone. So you're going to get a little bit of kind of my thoughts, my development, and then we're going to tie in some of the characters from the game, and it's going to go back and forth. So I'm really looking forward to that. But you can see just a little sneak peek of it. That is going to be exclusive for Play Dead Live sponsors. The first one that goes out in March, you're going to get a small clip. It's going to show you a little bit of what it's going to be about. And in June will be the first edition, the first issue ever of the Play Dead Live comic. So hopefully you guys will like that and have a good time with it. So I'm looking forward to it. But thank you for everything that you guys do and all the stuff to make everything that we do absolutely enjoyable. And hey, if you guys like it, then more people are going to sign up. But the only way to get that is to become a sponsor, and there's a link down below. So let's talk a little bit about The Walking Dead, and then we'll talk about Play Dead Live a little bit later on. So this week's episode, we know that it's going to be well, there's going to be a hunt, right? There's going to be a little bit of stalking going on. And without getting too far into the spoilers, this really screams out, Daryl was going around the corner. Daryl's looking for a way in the mine. And I think based on what we've seen with Alpha walking out or the other end of the mine, some of the pictures that are out there, it does look like there's going to be this big standoff between Alpha and also Daryl. There were rumors that there would be a fight, but I think from the images and the pictures that have been released, then that is going to be confirmed. Once again, I'm not going to go full spoilers, but I feel like that there's going to be a lot of the clock ticking. There's going to be a lot of, will Daryl be able to help them? Will he not be able to help them? Are they going to run out of air? Is it too late? Will he ever get to see them? So just think of kind of that anxiety. And the longer this fight lasts, the bigger of a problem it becomes, then the more of a chance that they're not getting out. We also do know that Beta is storming in Alexandria this week. We saw the hand. He comes in through the grave, and that is his way in. We also know that Gamma basically strolls into Alexandria. There's going to be a lot of guns pulled, so we've seen that. She stands in front of the council, and I think this week's episode is really going to be geared around, do we trust Gamma or do we not trust Gamma? And if you know spoilers, please don't chime in. If you don't, what are your thoughts on Gamma right now? Do you think that she can be trusted, or do you think that this is a double cross? that she really is out there trying to do some of Alpha's work, and it's going to be very confusing when Beta goes to try to hunt her down. Once again, if you know spoilers, please don't give your thoughts on that. And the spoilers will be confirmed tomorrow. I appreciate that, Dimes. Dimes said, I would like to say that if there are any extra boxes from March, for those of us that didn't make the cutoff, my birthday is the last week of March. Here's the thing, and I'm going to get into the Play Dead Live sponsorship. When we cut this off in December 15th, it's because I have to go to print. So there's only so many boxes I can do in advance. And the neat thing about the Play Dead Live is the boxes are all going to be customized as well. So everything in there in my mind is going to be a collectible. So I'll touch on that toward the end of the stream. But Dimes, I will, we will have a few extra boxes. I just don't know how we're going to do them. It's going to be more like a lottery. June Smith, hello, Army. Just sat through the ad kills. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, she's watching the ads. NetSuite. You know what? There's a lot of people that don't watch the ads, but I appreciate the people that do. I hope all is well this evening, and hooray for The Walking Dead being back on. Yeah, I don't, I've touched on this, and I'm not going to make this a bash session or just a crazy open forum. But I told you guys, when Walking Dead does a video, it doesn't get a ton of views, but yet miraculously, there's people out there getting a lot more. And you guys know what happens with that. Gemstone for Dimes, and you know why. Okay. Something's going on behind the scenes here. But thank you for that. Oh, and by the way, all super chats that we do on our channel, whether it's Deadly Dimes, June Smith, June wants to show up on a Friday night and play some Play Dead Live. But Gemstone, one thing that we're doing all season is our game is on Friday night. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch it, tune in, hang out with us. Any super chats that you guys do that are $5 or more super chats, they're double purpose super chats. So I not only want you guys to get your comments in the video, but Kel is keeping a log, and we're doing pack openings every Saturday. So we take these streams and we turn it into items that you can use in the game. So it's kind of like we want everybody to sort of participate, and it's just hopefully a way to kind of give back and get people involved in both streams. The Play Dead live streams, the story, and also The Walking Dead. Because we're going to still be going strong after The Walking Dead. So when they take a break, we're still going to be playing. So Land of Lincoln, I honestly think Gamma can be trusted because she knows that Alpha has lied to them about Lydia. I think it would be awfully bold for Gamma. I agree with that, Land of Lincoln. For Gamma just to stroll in there, and, it's weird because Negan basically told on Gamma, but Gamma walked in there and basically told on Alpha and said, your people are stuck in a cave. So, I know we tend to agree with the people that support our people more, right? Like Alexandria. But if you were a Whisperer fan, which I'm not, I could see how Gamma betraying you would be a problem if you're a Whisperer fan or a Whisperer. So it's almost like here we are with the Saviors all over again, right? If you were a Negan fan or a Saviors fan, you validate and justify what Negan was doing. Maybe not the baseball bat stuff, but the other stuff. And if you're a Rick Grimes fan and Michonne and Daryl and the group, so now we're almost back to square one. But Gamma beyond, because the tricky thing with Gamma is what she did to her sister. But let me say this. Was Gamma trying to get points with Alpha? Or was it a mercy killing? Did she think her sister was too far gone and it was better off just killing her, letting her die because of all she went through? And that's what I've been thinking about a little bit. At first, I thought like, oh, she's just trying to get in the door. But maybe Gamma really is the one, more so than Negan, trying to undermine the Whispers. Gina Crockett says, Jim, inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, there's some PDL stuff going down here. This is some gameplay. This is some sneaky gameplay going on with these ladies. What is going to go down Friday night? Tune in and find out, everybody. Tune in and find out what's going to go down. So Dead Shred says Gamma was trying to save herself. Fair enough. I don't disagree with that. But Dead Shred, here's the thing that I think is funny. Is how many people have you seen that defend Negan for all the things he's doing and says, well, he's just trying to help our group out. He's just trying to kill Alpha from the inside. But isn't that the same thing Gamma's doing? Gamma's doing almost the exact same thing, but yet she doesn't get the same. She gets sympathy, but she doesn't get the same level of credibility or same level of support. And I just wonder why Negan always gets a pass. I'm not saying that I didn't forgive him. I'm not saying that I haven't accepted him back in the group. I'm just saying that I'm always on the fence with him, and there are other people that he can do no wrong. It's like whatever Negan does is always for the greater good or there's a bigger purpose. But I see a strong parallel between Gamma and between Negan. And for fear of crossing the line and going into spoilers, I'm going to say, and I say this very passionately, the story is going to get a lot more deceptive and a lot more interesting. So the things that we think we know about people, it's going to get confusing. And maybe not where we have to choose A or choose B, but it is going to get a little bit more cloudy before the sun comes out. Great thoughts, great comments. So, now let me kind of set the stage for this week, and I'm going to say it multiple times. I know things, but without, again, crossing the line. This week's episode is going to be very, if you thought they played homage to Halloween in the alpha beta scene where, he's walking through the hospital, this week is supposedly going to feel a little bit more like Friday the 13th. So I'll just I'll leave it there. This week is going to be another kind of tribute to horror movies of the past. Now, whether or not they can pull it off in this day and age and make it, scary again, that remains to be seen. It's harder, right? It's harder to come up with a good horror theme or to emulate something else, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, but I think it's going to be challenging. I do want to say this because I was wrong. So when I'm wrong on a prediction, well, see, here's the thing. I write down a lot of my predictions as well because I see the way certain things can take place. And Judith is back in Alexandria. And the reason I mention this, and it's not because of a spoiler, is because I do get to mark one of my theories off the list that I thought that the trip from Oceanside to Alexandria with Judith, with Scott, would be a bigger deal. And apparently it's not. Apparently they're just, bam, they're there. So it's a little disappointing to me. But yes, apparently Judith is back in Alexandria and Beta is in Alexandria as well. So that does heighten it a little bit more, right? Just when you thought, well, maybe some people are safe, nobody's safe. Dana, that's true. I mean, Alpha's just crazy. Dana says, killed her own husband. Negan loved his wife, in turn became a product of losing her and the way he had to become to survive. Well, you had me at half of it. All right, one, I'm going to disagree. You don't have to smash somebody's head in with a baseball bat and dance around and enjoy it. So that's the difference. And it's a big, big mistake on behalf of the writers. You can intimidate the saviors and you can keep them under control without that level. So, for example, he killed Abraham. Could have shot Abraham, but the torture with Glenn was excessive. It was uncalled for. It was not needed. Even from a viewer standpoint, it was not needed. Because what you could have done is he killed Abraham and then he put the bat in Rosita's face and he knew all along he wasn't done, right? But if he really wanted to torture Daryl, he could have pulled out a gun and shot Glenn. And said, bam, I told you, Daryl, not to move. That's what happens when you move. But that's not what he did. He hit Glenn, and then he said, your eyes popping out of your head. And, and then he does it more and more, and he dances. See, that's the part that is not about survival. That's the part that's not about you got to do what you got to do because of what you've been through. That's excessive and uncalled for. Ocean Man, what's good, everybody? Just glad we finally have The Walking Dead back. Just want to say one thing. The army is spark. You better believe it, Ocean Man. I love y'all. Certainly, we're sparking it up. We got Fluff the Flamethrowers. Beta going to wear a blonde wig, hat, sundresses while he's in Alexandria. Probably not. Probably not. What was her code name? Yeah. it was such a twisted scene. Was it Debbie? Was Alpha Debbie? I think. Something like that. Yep. Hey, type it up. I want to get some of your thoughts in here on thank you so much, Chucky. Appreciate that. Been a long time fan. We've been doing this for a long time, so I appreciate you being here live. Absolutely, man. If you guys are brand new, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, and you never know when we're liable to stream. We might stream at 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to stream a little bit later tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be 9:30, so we're kind of rotating. I really want to give the entire audience a chance because some people, it works earlier in the day. Some people, it's better late in the evening. So we're going to mix it up. Now, here's the only caveat to that whole, killing Glenn thing. In Negan's mind, he thought it was like the ultimate message that he had to send out. But, I mean, did he really need to make Carl sing? Let's think about this for a second, all right? Even after the whole thing with Glenn, why'd you have to psychologically torture Carl? That was borderline too. That was borderline excessive. So Moonshot says, do you think the group from the cave is back at Alexandria when Beta is there or after? I don't think the group is going to be back when that goes down. I think that everything that happens this week. Now, I'm hoping that the group is within some earshot of Daryl's situation with Alpha. Because she's going to be stalking him. I mean, you know, it's called Stalker, and we got Beta stalking in Alexandria, and then we got Alpha keeping Daryl from getting in the cave. Now, the rest of the group's just not going to run back and get back there. I feel like they're going to have to get involved or show up late or something. I don't disagree with that at all. So Dead Shred kind of back on the top said, I think killing Glenn was the single biggest mistake the show's ever made. I agree with most of that. I don't know that killing Glenn, for me, was the biggest mistake. The method of which they killed Glenn was the single biggest mistake because it happened. They wanted to articulate the comic book, and it just didn't go well. You know what? Dana, I didn't forget that at all. I know they snuck in. They killed him while they slept. But if Negan would have snuck in and killed Glenn while he slept, I would say then that's reasonable. But beating him in front of his pregnant wife and dancing around after he did it is excessive. So, see, I've heard this in Kill Mames. So I'm not sure we're going to bring closure to it, but let me give you an analogy. How many people here remember when they snuck in and killed the Saviors while they were sleeping? How many people remember that? Ben says, Daryl running off by himself after he tells Carol to stop that. They need to explain that. It's true. Okay, if you guys remember that, did Glenn kill them? Or did Glenn cut off his head and walk out in the moonlight and hold the head up and say, woo-hoo, oh baby, this is so good. Hey Rick, let's play a little bit of football with this Savior's head. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is that the way they did it? Because I don't remember that. So, I don't care. You can type it 1,000,000 times. There is nothing that justifies the means of which they beat Glenn down. Nothing. That was a whole different level of brutality. It is brutal on any level. Shooting someone in war, killing someone in war, maybe even hanging somebody, like they did Gregory, is something. But there is never, ever been a scene that I've seen like the Negan-Glenn scene. Nothing like that. The only thing that comes close to it is Alpha making Dante hold Sadiq's eyes open. That's the only thing. And I still don't think that is as bad as what they did to Glenn. But I think the Alpha Dante scene was a second place. And it was cruel, but it still, to me, didn't rank up there with what Negan did to Glenn. And I watched it one time, and I got to tell you, I mean, the stills of that, the one that I remember most was Negan you could see a little bit of Glenn's skull left, and Negan kind of leaning back. It was almost like he was howling with the moon in the background. And as soon as I saw that, I said, the writer side of me came out and was like, oh my God, they're going to have a hard time recovering from this. This is just, because I knew that eventually they were going to bring Negan back, right? But from that moment, my only thought was, how are they going to reel this in? How are they going to get the audience back to where they can even stand him? Dimes, I would say it's not brilliant at all. In fact, I would say it's the opposite. I think that Chandler Riggs lost his job because of the mistake the writers made with that particular scene. I couldn't be more on the opposite end of the spectrum. I think it's horrendous writing. I think it was the biggest mistake the show ever made. And I could go through a whole succession of events that they had to go through to undo the problem that they got there in the first place. They had to kill Carl in their mind to get over that hump that the writers were not going to get over. Yeah, that's a sore spot with me. It is. I know where we're at right now, but here's the difference. I've had the luxury since that scene. I think I've done 1,000 videos. So I remember the reaction to the first video I did. I remember the anger the first month after. I remember the hatred 3 months later. I remember such a small percentage of the audience ever thinking that they could like Negan. There were a few. And then I remember every single step that they had to play in order to get him closer and closer. And I've been along for the whole thing. And even saying as much that Negan needs to do this, and this just to get him where people can stomach him again. So I don't think it's brilliance. I think it's desperation, to be honest. I mean, we are where we are, but I don't think it was a calculated plan in order to get that. I think it was a very risky plan in my mind. Gina Crockett, Alpha taunting Carol at the Pike site was pretty... That was too. Well, but see, here's the thing. And Dimes, here's the real life consequence to that. June Smith says, do you think we're going to be rid of Alpha and her clan this season? Please say yes. Most, June. Well, let's think about, and look, I'm the biggest Walking Dead, I'm as big as anybody out there. But do you realize The Walking Dead has lost a third of their audience since that scene? Let me let that sink in. Now, do I think that they're on the verge of going under? No, I don't. But let's analyze that for a minute and figure out how brilliant that is. A third of their audience stopped watching the show since that lineup. Now, that to me doesn't scream out brilliance. That to me screams out epic mistake. To a degree, Scott Gimple took himself out of position. Chandler Riggs lost his job. It was almost like a reboot. So we're at a good spot now, but how we got there is it's a challenge. So Ben the Tin Man, how Carol feels about Alpha equals how Maggie feels about Negan. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be, I don't think there's going to be an epic reunion, right, Ben, between Maggie and Negan? It is confirmed. Moonshot. Nielsen confirms it. That's a good point right there. See, great point by Jack Carr. That is actually perfect. Jack said, if I hadn't read the comics, I don't think I would have tolerated Negan at all after that scene. I think that's perfect. Because almost all of our audience, look, I didn't lose a third of my viewers after it. I mean, our fans are loyal fans, and they stayed. But it's because of what Jack just said. Everybody knew that eventually the story was going to change. And that Negan was going to go full circle, which is why most tolerated it. But still, let me ask this question. How many people feel that Carl's death was a cover-up in order to try to push the story forward and give them a reason to end all-out war? And you know what? I mean, we could do bold predictions, but honestly, I could talk about this topic all night. This is actually one of my favorite topics to talk about because it's cause and effect. And our audience did not like that they killed Carl. So it's hard to like Negan and also not miss Carl at the same time, right? Because you feel like the two had to go hand in hand. And that's exactly, I'm sorry, I'm zoomed into Jack Carr's comments because I agree with that. And that there was no need for killing Carl outside of rehumanizing Negan and finding a way to end the war quicker. There were I think that was one of the biggest mistakes. And I'm going to tell you, I think there was another mistake. So how many people, once again, if you're just tuning in, please don't take a small clip of our stream tonight and just focus on that. Because, you're going to think that we're bashing The Walking Dead. We're not. But here is another follow-up to that season. How many people feel like making Maggie evil for 2 episodes was like, what? that really confuses me. So you make Maggie evil and she doesn't trust Rick, and she doesn't trust Negan, and she wants to go back and kill Negan, and then she gets the chance. That was weird, right? I mean, that might have been the single weirdest thing in The Walking Dead because it never really went anywhere. At the end of that season, it was, Jesus, that thing you did, that was right. What Rick did, that was wrong. Next time, we're going to be prepared. And then Daryl walks out of the dark and he's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm going to kill some. It's like you got Jesus, Maggie, and Daryl, and they give you this kind of, like the 3 amigos, and they're going to take down Rick Grimes. And it's like, no, that never happened. It's just like nothing happened with it. So that was almost like they were leading us to believe something. I mean, other than killing Gregory, which needed to happen anyway. So, yeah. The Negan brutality on Glenn, and once again, if you really want to kill Glenn, just shoot him. Just get it over with. Like, bam. Daryl, you shouldn't have moved. Over. And then you move on from it. But because you brutally murder Glenn, now you got to change Maggie's character. Now you got to, give a little bit of paranoia. Now you got to kill Carl. You don't have to, but it's what they did. And then, where are we? We're back. We hated Maggie, and now we're going to be back to forgiving Maggie. Ironically enough, again, if I took a survey right now and said, if you had to choose between Negan and Maggie, who are you a bigger fan of? More of our audience is going to be a fan of Negan. Maggie didn't even do anything. She spared Negan. She didn't even kill him. All she really did was kill Gregory, who died. Negan murdered Abraham and Glenn. and he's responsible for Carl leaving the show, but yet there's more people that back Negan than Maggie. It's just strange to me. But that's the emotions, right? Right, Smokey? Playing with my money's like playing with my emotions. So, yeah, I mean, you get people that are going to choose Negan over Maggie. It's like Maggie's coming back, and now they have to rebuild Maggie's character again. And all she did was leave. She just wanted to take baby Herschel and hang out with Georgie for a little while and see the world. But look, we'll be back supporting Maggie again in no time. So that's what the writers do. They get us down a path. If Alpha does something really twisted and Maggie helps, now I think I've heard some things. I can't tell you guys. Not a spoiler stream. You know what? Show up tomorrow night during the spoiler stream if you want spoilers, and I'll give you kind of a little bit of the tidbit at the end of the season. But otherwise, I can't tell you. I can't tell you anything. All right, and with that note, I am going to leave the stream with that. I've had a great time hanging out with you guys, but we do have a Play Dead live stream at 9 o'clock tonight. It's going to be PvP. We got some epic battles going down. We got Will the Bill versus Valar. We got B-Dub in the house versus Julia Muse. Some great matches. If you guys like AD&D, D&D, comic books, The Walking Dead, World of Warcraft, all these games mixed into one, that's really what our Play Dead Live is all about. So if you guys want to hang out, you can create your own character and chill with us, or participate as I moderate these battles. We will be back tonight, 9 o'clock. We'll be here at 9:30 tomorrow for our spoiler stream. We're going to talk spoilers for this week, and then I can touch on some stuff by the end of the season. So if you guys want some extended spoilers, we can do that. And then Friday night, we're going to do our Play Dead Live Crowley's Farm Part 3 finale. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate everything that you guys do, and I will see, hopefully, most of you guys at 9 o'clock. And once again, shout out to the patrons, top left-hand corner. If you guys want to be a patron, there's a link down below. The PDL sponsors, once again, if you're here just for Walking Dead content, the stream is officially over. I am going to make a couple announcements for you guys, though, really quickly, and I'm going to put it back up on the screen. So I did announce that the Play Dead Live sponsorship is a higher-level sponsorship. It is only through Patreon. So those that signed up to December 15th, they're getting a pack mailed out in March. And it's going to include some gear, some cards from the game, some characters, a whole bunch of stuff, and a sneak peek of our Play Dead Live comic strip. And then those that sign up before March 15th will qualify for the June mailing. And in June, you will get the first official Play Dead Live comic book. So you haven't missed out on it yet, but the people in March are going to get like a sneak peek of it. They're going to see some of it, but not the whole thing. But the first official comic will be in the June. And, you know, it's going to have like a lot of stuff, maybe some shirts, maybe some cards, maybe some stuff from the game, a whole lot of stuff. But check it out. And I'm sure some people on our fan page will be posting pictures of it as well. So that's what's up. I will talk to all of you guys a little bit later on. Have a good night. Peace.